I'll take it from here. Hello, fabulous fierce ones. Lois Barth here of Thought Provoking Thursday, and we are talking about today bringing your darkness into light. So I'm wearing my little post 4th of July bling bling fest, and I hope your 4th was fabulous. But besides the fact that I really like the outfit, it's really a message around that we bring our darkness into the light. So many of you probably saw fireworks. You couldn't have seen the brightness of the fireworks unless the sky was dark. And it's very similar in our own life that when we are willing to go into the darkness, the dark places, those shadow selves that we're scared, the feelings we deem unacceptable, that we are able to move into our light. So one of my favorite Loisisms stands for lessons, opportunities, insights, and solutions, is when we reject our shadows, we're not able to fully live in our life, in our light. And that's really what we're going to talk about today, how to do that, how to live in your light. And then I'm going to give you a few tips on why that is. So the first 3 tips, I go through a whole 12 process with hi Jill, how you doing? Good to see you, my dear. And I go through a whole 12-step process with how to bring your shadows into light. But for the purpose of today's program, we're going to talk about the first 3 steps. But first, a story on why it's so important to bring your shadows into light. Because when you do, you are able to uncover your deepest heart's desires. Case in point, a client several years ago came to me for what many of my coaching clients come to me. They don't know what they don't know. She was a relationship coaching client of mine. We'll call her Tara. And, she kind of was all over the place about what she really wanted in a partner. And, some weeks it was like, I want a boyfriend. Then it was like, friends with benefits is okay. But she kept saying over and over, I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. So I was thinking, there's some issues there that we got to address. So she's going off to this very alternative event. And I said to her, Tara, I'm going to give you an assignment before you go, and I want you to do a collage of your ideal wedding. And she was like, excuse me? Like, did you not listen to me? I said, I don't want to get married. I said, I know. Humor me, darling. So, because that's kind of the way I roll with my clients. So she came back and she had this gorgeous collage. Beautiful, something out of Martha Stewart, and the colors and everything were beautiful. And I said, you've done a gorgeous job. And she was kind of proud of herself. She said, thanks, I'm very happy with it too. I said, it's just missing one thing. She was like, what? And I said, there's nothing here on this collage that represents the essence of who you are. And she had a total OMG moment. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I just realized that wedding looks like my cousin, who is like one of my BFFs, that I sort of always look up to, but it has nothing to do with who I am. And I was like, bingo. She was like, wait a second, I just realized that maybe the reason why I don't want to get married is I think I'm supposed to have that wedding. And I was like, bingo, bingo. I said, well, tell me what, Tara, would your ideal Courage to Sparkle wedding look like for you? She was like, well, I would have a bonfire, and I would have all my fabulous sisters and BFFs, like together we would make a gown for me, and it would have wings, and we would do all kinds of wild things. We might even like bungee jump as part of the ceremony. And I was like, cool. I said, that sounds like a great wedding. And she was like, you know what? I actually do want to get married. And when I go to this festival, I actually want to look for my potential husband at this festival. And then I want to go back the following year and I want to get married on my terms. And that's exactly what happened. So there it is. The power of when we don't know what we don't know, and when our shadows are being hidden, and to have a possibility of bringing our shadows into the light so that we can make choices from a powerful choice in our life. It makes all the difference in the world. So I probably have you sold at this point. You think, wow, that's a pretty good breakthrough. Yeah, sure. I'm ready to bring my shadows into light. But how do I do it? Good question. I just happen to know the answer. So like I said, it's a 12-step process that's in my book, Courage to Sparkle. But for the purpose of today, the first 3 steps are move from criticism to curiosity. So here's what happens. As women especially, we get a lot of messages that our shadow, our intense feelings, our secrets, are things we should hide. And keep behind closed doors. So we literally just push them away. So the first step is to move from criticism to curiosity. So what does that mean? One of the things I love about children and animals is they're so damn curious about everything, right? They're like amazed. So bring in that expansive energy. And when things come up in your shadow, anger, remorse, just get curious instead of critical. Say, oh, that's fascinating. Wow, I'm really enraged. Like, what's up with that? Instead of making yourself wrong or hiding or having all kinds of crazy dramas. Move from criticism to curiosity. So that's the first step. The second step is to actually let yourself feel your feelings. Not navel gaze, not overanalyze, not make a big drama out of it, but just feel the feelings that are coming up. And notice where you feel in your body. What does the sensation feel like? And then the third step is to start to make mental and physical notes of where the connection is between those shadow feelings and what's going on in your life. And I can promise you immediately that life is talking. Make sure you're listening. Another Loisism, by the way, that if you start doing that on a regular basis, you're going to make important connections and ahas about, I feel shame when I blah, 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 or I go into despair, and then you could start to open up and really see where those connections are. So I'm sure at this point, you're at the edge of your seat. I see you there at the edge of your seat. You're probably wondering, where are the other four? What are the other steps? And so you can get them if you shoot me an email, lois@loisbarth.com, and in the subject field, press or say, bring your shadows into light. And there are so many other tips in my book, tips and power principles and really juicy stuff in my book, Courage to Sparkle, The Audacious Girl's Guide to Creating a Life That Lights You Up. Let me tell you something, friends. Life is short, life is precious. Sparkle now. And remember, for the next 3 weeks, I'm sure there are people in your life that this video really resonates for, in addition to yourself. Be generous, share the video with them, because that'll make a difference in their life. So the next 3 weeks, we're going to have, instead of it being thought-provoking Thursday, it's going to be Transform Your Life Tuesday. I am an acronym junkie. For the next 3 weeks, still at 4 o'clock. And thanks for tuning in and not tuning out. Bye-bye. Little plug for the book, Shameless Self-Promotion. Take care.